They said my jacked up Ford could do the chore, protecting that orphanage and your family store.
Shit never ends. Chainsaw, Leatherface, Jason, Spooky.
This is Barney Fly with Barney in the Sky, and it's a stormy night, but that's not stopping traffic at all. Luckily, it's moving along pretty nicely down there. Still, the heaviness of the rain coming down really does make it the perfect weather to confront a family member cinematically. The type of rain that helps give closure to a recent event in your life, or one could use this rain like the fire of the phoenix to stand on top of a building and let the world know your new name.
We're here with Chris with news from space. A lot of news happens in space, and Chris lets us know. And even though he's being a bit of a downer with all this galactic war talk, he does have a bit of exciting news.
Space News seems pretty confident that this could result in what is known as the Shi'ar Empire going to the war with the Sol System. That's us. We're the Sol System. My source says that the
Your source? You mean your cousin?
That is right. My cousin was abducted as a kid, and then 10 years later he let his family know that he lives in Kree space. I'm lucky to have chats with him and like to share his very important space news. But what's important is that space politics has implications that can affect us all. All of our lives can change in an instant if...
But tell our listeners about Sunspot.
I appreciate your interest in the lighter side of the story, but...
Look, do you want your $50 or not?
Robert DaCosta, famous Earth mutant, has been rumored to be romantically linked to the leader of the Shi'ar.
Space Princess!
Empress. It's different.
You heard it here first, folks. We could have a royal wedding in our future.
I would urge everyone to remember what I said about Noel.
Thank you, Chris. I'm as excited as you are about Sunspot and the Space Princess.
It's Empress.
In other news, Tony Stark is back in rehab, and we have all the details.
That's right. Iron Man's famous substance abuse issues are back, and we are here for it at FKZ. Looks like old Shellhead checked himself into rehab last night, and while details are scarce, we have pictures. Of course, we're happy he's getting help, but how are you even supposed to rehab this guy, right?
There's no drugs allowed here? How about $1,000?
Would you like those drugs in a paper or plastic bag, sir?
We were just having group when a giant hot tub full of supermodels flew Tony away.
Oh, Mr. Iron Man, there's no drinking here. How about I just buy the rehab center?
Robert Downey Jr. called. He wants his public persona back.
Hey, Tony, you're supposed to be like the guy in the Iron Man song, not like Ozzy, who wrote the song.
Space Chris is getting in on it.
Space Chris! Hey, what's up, relaxers? That's what I call you, people who listen to my show. It's our crew. Thank you. I'm recording this outside, and because I don't respect my product, or myself, or this bird. I don't know what this bird's problem is. Everyone else is... Alright, I've gone inside now. The bird won. But thank you very much for joining me here on my television program. And I am expecting you to, put this on a TV. This is my slideshow of other people's artwork was not designed to be viewed on a phone. That all being said, it's time to jump in here. Let's dive in to these comics. I'm trying to think of other people's catchphrases. Let's get going. I don't think it's someone's catchphrase. Let's get going. I'm trying to think of other people's things. Alright, well, let's keep it comics. Here we go. We got Avengers Forever, right? That came out. And this was just a love song to Dr. Doom being a psycho, where he has the one Doom above all, essentially. The Doom who's risen above to take other Dooms under his command throughout the multiverse. So it's like Dr. Doom's... they've been doing a lot of councils lately. We got a Council of Mephisto. This all got kicked off with the Council of Reeds. What other councils are there? There was another council lately of people who really had no business having a council. You had, I'll remember who it is in a second. Mr. Sinister's always talking to himself. You got Multiple Man, but that doesn't really count. He's always just directing his dupes. It'll come to me. There was another council recently where I was like, that guy's got a council? A bunch of nonsense. And the Spider-Man, they get together, but they never are formal about it. They keep it real cash. But Doctor Doom does not keep it cash. What he's been doing is finding other Dooms in the multiverse and then torturing them until they agree, like, oh man, this Doom is a better Doom than me. And I love Doom so much that I want to help the best Doom do Doom stuff. So once you agree, like, yep, you're the best Doom, I give in. I'm the Doom from a universe where we're all just like bunnies. And Doom will be like, all right, good. First thing you gotta do is cut out your tongue, and you work for me. And then you do it, and then you become, essentially the great. You join the greatest army of Doom bots. Anyway, we also had SpiderMan 2099, but I ended up getting the cover, not the one that you're seeing here. I got the one that had the old school border from when 29 first came out. Now, this is interesting. In Spencer's run, we see Spider-Man from 2099 come back in time and explain that things are changing before the character's eyes. And explain to Peter that all of the multiverse is messed up, which is a big running theme in Marvel Comics. You see Nighthawk running around right now from the Heroes Reborn universe. Actually becoming a big deal on the, main Avengers team, which is playing into the idea that, Black Panther's just too busy to run Avengers right now because of what's going on in his book with Wakanda having growing pains, moving into a democracy, and not sure who has the country's best interest at heart, and really. So Black Panther has his own things going on, and we see Mephisto, the council I was talking about a moment ago, is doing a lot of things in the multiverse. Some large evil plan that he's been working on for like the last decade. There's a guy on Twitter who just covers Doctor Strange, who's been following this Mephisto story for years. And that's what I was expecting this to be about, was multiverse nonsense, time travel is affecting the 2099 universe. But it ended up being a pretty straight story of just an adventure in that time period, with some interesting tidbits about the history of the 2099 and what happened. So, then we had Black Panther Legends. And this has been a weird series. Kind of reminds me of the flashback in time stories Marvel's been doing a lot lately. You have, really nice versions of it, where they condense the history and the life story series that we've seen. The Spider-Man was really good. I didn't like the Fantastic Four one as much. A more cartoony example of this is the X-Men 97 book. There's a book going around that was Spider-Man in the black suit. I can't think of what it's called right now, but it's just specifically hanging out in time periods of old Marvel comics. There's lots of books right now that were a look at a time period. And that's what this felt like, where we see T'Challa is going to continue the efforts to open up Wakanda. It's when this is first happening to the world. And then the FF show up. And it's a classic, like, two heroes fight before they get to be friends. Then a monster attacks the city as a distraction, clearly. And the FF takes out the monster, and Black Panther goes to figure out what's going on, and it's some claw nonsense. Just some classic Black Panther thing. And then we see him get the suit, which stores the energy which has hit him, like what you see in the MCU version of Black Panther. And in this world, We see one of my favorite things, which is Reed Richards going around giving people super suits. For those who don't know, if you read Giant Size X-Men #1, all of these guys show up to Professor Xavier's mansion, and he's like, "I got some clothes for you that was made by Reed Richards," and that is just hilarious to me. That he, I don't know, got like files about Nightcrawler and Storm, and it was like, yeah, I'll make outfits for these guys. I got just the idea. And then went like as bombastic as he did and revealing for Storm, or like the shoulder pads on Nightcrawler. It's just so many funny choices to make in real life if you were designing people you don't know's clothes. And like, no, they're going to love this. The same thing goes for this Black Panther suit, where, in theory, I guess, Reed Richards did a little reconnaissance, had seen Black Panther, knew what he liked to look like, and he's like, I'm going to make that guy a cool outfit, and then I'm going to give it to him. And that's really, really nice. Reed Richards is a sweetheart with a crazy eye for design. But what else happened? Speaking of Giant Size X-Men, we got Thunderbird #1, right? He's back from finding out that he's been dead for a really long time. And the way the book covers this is so interesting. That he's known for being the first X-Men to die. They play into this idea where he has been, gone longer than everyone else. It's very weird that he's brought back and how much the world has changed. But he ends up going on a rampage through a police station and uncovers a bunch of bad guys who he beats up, which is awesome. And then he has a nice chat with his grandma. And I'm glad to see he's back. Looking forward to watching Thunderbird work out these issues and be a character again. Anyway, that's a quick look at the books that came out in the beginning of May. And if you want to support this channel, hey, thanks. That's super cool of you. All right, bye.